Shalom, Yasharal. I want to start out by giving infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers. And a Mashak Yahweh Shai, pushing his blood true across the four winds. Shalom, one of you brothers. And you few sisters, Aquath, that take heed. Okay. On this topic, man, I'm going to go into the curses, government stats, and show that our people, you so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and people of Hispanic descent, we're not going to get out of this condition until we come back to our Heavenly Father. All right? It's always fuck the community. All right? Who's going to build up a community where it's prophesied that the whole nation is going to get destroyed? All right? Who wants to climb up an economic ladder that's burning? All right? The Lord told us here in America, this isn't your rest, okay? Our rest is going to be in the kingdom of heaven when the Lord delivers us out of the land of our captivity here in America and bring us back to the land of milk and honey. He's going to take us back to Jerusalem, all right? We were brought here to America to do a bid, to learn righteousness, all right? We didn't come here to do what they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, build a thriving metropolis in hell. All right? The Lord is going to destroy this place. So we shouldn't be setting our goals, aspirations here in America. All right? A person that think like that is a defeated person. All right? In the land of your captivity, in the land of your enemies, you're supposed to be wanting to rebel, revolt, and subdue your enemies. Not synchronize with their system and abide by their laws and try to be a well-nourished slave and uplift your community, all right? But when you're uplifting your community, educational, industrial complex comes from your oppressor. You're not learning the philosophies of our Heavenly Father and our great King and that Middle Eastern philosophies. You're learning a satanic vibration. So to want to uplift the community, the philosophy in America to uplift the community is to educate the people. Where's that education going to come from? It's going to come from this damn cracker. So there's no way you'll never be able to build a kingdom where we're independent of our oppressors, all right? And we're going to subdue them and put them in submission, and we be ruling, all right? People like that, man, are conquered people, okay? I'm going to start off in the book of Colossians because this is what happened to most of our people, all right? They've been bewitched, deceived, all right? They're good for nothing. They don't want to leave America. They don't want America to be destroyed. This Colossians 2:8, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. And that's what happens when you get so-called educated in America. All right. This devil he's a psychoanalyst, and through his educational industrial complex, he brainwashes people. He make you think good is evil and evil is good. All right. You don't want that to happen. You want to be in the mind of our great King, man. All right? You want to be in the mind of the men of old. All right? They wanted rulership. They wanted dominion. All right? They wanted their enemies under their footstool. All right? The Lord is disciplining us by having us under this infrastructure. Okay? But your mindset should be, you want everything to be destroyed. We want to destroy and rebuild, like that nigga Nas said. Okay, we're not trying to coexist. If you want to coexist and build your own metropolis in hell, all right, you no different than these devils, okay? They the one taught you to want to do that, okay? Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit after the tradition of men, all right? The tradition of men is whatever you think it takes for your people to prosper, all right? That mindset comes from the so-called white man. Let's protest. Let's educate the children. Let's get some money and do some programs for the community. Man, fuck that shit, man. The only thing that can deliver us and enlighten us is this word right here. If you ain't doing it through this word, you wasting your time. And look around you, all right? Ain't nothing getting better around this motherfucker. You're wasting your time. If you're in reality, all right? The number of Youth so-called graduating, that shit is descending. That's not rising. That's not on the rise. The family unit coming back while our people are getting together and marrying, all right, and children growing up in two-parent homes. That shit, the stats is against that. We about to go on the stats. That's not going up. That's going down. Nothing's getting better here in America. Okay. After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ, not after Hamashiach Yahushua, all right? That's not what our great king taught us to do, okay? Our great king taught us to be holy, learn to be holy, all right? He told us clearly right here, don't have the mindset of the heathen round about us. Let me get that precept real fast. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31 is written, all right, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways, all right? And the oppressor is all about educate the people, and that's going to get us out of poverty, man. Fuck that shit, man. The only thing we educating and enriching is giving this word, man, telling people to conform to this word and have faith that our great king about to destroy this place. All right, this is the book of 2 Peter, all right? And this is why we say fuck the community. All right, this is one of those bangers right here. This 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. Seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, okay? What's going to be dissolved? America. America's going to be burnt to a crisp. So why would you, I've seen Malcolm X say a speech before. He say, why would I sell my soul for a currency that's descending into oblivion when the economist of this nation even tells you that? Why would we have dreams, goals, and aspirations in a place where our Lord is going to destroy? This is modern day Babylon. The Lord is going to destroy this place. Read the book of Revelation, all right? That what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? If you know this place is going to be dissolved and burnt with fervent heat, what your conversation should be? Doing what it takes to get delivered out of America. Not talking about uplifting and building a community where the children are fucking sodomites, where the children are drunk off of hip hop, all right? And let's say, hypothetically speaking, if you wanted to do that, long as you got hip hop around, ain't nothing gonna happen. You got to be on an all out assault on black culture. If you talking about getting programs and you're not talking about getting rid of black culture and hip hop, you ain't shit gonna happen for you to build a community and prophecy. You know, we locked in on prophecy. It's not gonna happen anyway. But if you wanted to do it strategically, speaking as a man, you would have to attack hip hop. You would have to attack gangster rap. Long as gangster rap is around and BT, MTV is around, you wasting your time talking to a fucking youngster. And you going off your rockers if you think you can make a difference. You're wasting your fucking time. All right, now let me get in these numbers, all right? Let me get into these numbers. Let me read that again. 2 Peter 3 and 11, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, all right? This way of life, this way of thinking, all right? Just this nation itself is going to be destroyed. What manner of persons ought you to be in holy conversation and godliness, all right? You just supposed to be locked in the world, revamping your mind and the way you think. You got to get off this Western mindset. You got to put that off. It's a degenerate way of thinking. It's a conquered way of thinking. You have to look to the east, all right? And the way you look to the east, this is a Middle Eastern book written in ancient time past with Middle Eastern principles, philosophies, all right? You got to look for that ancient way of living. That's what our great king come back. When he come back, he's not gonna have on no Jordans. He's not gonna have on no skinny jeans and nothing. He gonna come back with an afro, with a golden girdle, with the Middle Eastern garb that he wore before he came here, man. I mean, what that he had on when he came here. He's going to bring that, he's going to make the law honorable. The laws that govern us in the ancient world, that's what he's going to implement in this earth. So you're supposed to be cleaning up your mind and think like the way the men of old thought in the ancient world, not conforming and wanting to thrive in this motherfucker, talking about uplifting the community and thinking of the family unit getting back. Man, that's not going to happen. The only person is going to bring the family back together. In fact, let me get a precept for that. This is the only way the family is going to get brought back together, man. Ain't no shit happening here in America. This is one Luke 1:13 is written. But the angel said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayers is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear a son, and thou shalt call his name John. It's talking about John the Baptist. And thou shalt have joy and gladness, and many shall rejoice at his birth. All right, he was a mighty man of the Lord. For he shall be great in the sight of the Lord, and he shall drink neither wine nor strong drink, and he shall be filled with the Holy Ghost, even from his mother's womb. And many of the children of Israel shall turn to the law, to their power. Now, look, you got to realize, you got to know history. We was in captivity during this time under the Romans, like we're in captivity under these modern Romans, okay? And this is what the Lord was saying we was going to have to do to get out of that condition. It has nothing to do with getting that Roman education, all right? Getting the education from the white man, or doing things the way he do things. Let's see what the Lord said was going to happen. And he shall go before him in the spirit and the power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. You see, the only way the hearts of the fathers are going to go back to their sons is through this word, okay? Through this word. Because in this society, love is an emotion, all right? According to the scripture, love is keeping the commandments. All right, these commandments is going to make you, our nation come back and build, okay? Not nothing, no community activists or positive speaking nigga somewhere. And the disobedient to the wisdom, the just to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. You see, the Lord ain't coming back for no nigga talking about doing something for the community in America. The Lord gonna kill niggas like that. He's coming back to men that's living according to his word, okay? Now, this was inspired by a conversation that I had with a guy the other day, and I want to go into these stats, man, because you got to know, when you look at government stats, all right, the so-called white man is the devil the Bible speak of, and what our elders, beloved elders, taught us to do is all the information we do get, all right, we get it through the spirit, but we got to go through the so-called white man to connect the dots. Because when he lay out what he give us is mostly lies, the truth twisted and demented. So you got to have the spirit to be able to take meat off the bones, okay? All right? If we let him teach us the Bible, he's going to teach us the doctrine of devils. If we let him teach us history, he's going to teach us nothing more than lies. So you got to ask the Lord for the spirit to direct you. And when he gives us government stats, all right, they be tweaked a little bit. They don't be all the way accurate. You got to be able to have the spirit to discern where you live, all right? You got to be well-rounded. You got to know how people live in other states, what's going on in other states. You know, you got to be well-traveled. You know, you don't just believe what you hear the white man put down and jot on a paper. You got to be able to have the spirit of discernment when he do some things. You got to realize he's the Bible called him the father of lies. It say he was a murderer from the beginning. And when he tells of a lie, you know, let me get another precept. This is the so-called white man in a nutshell. You just can't, even when you go get his excerpts and you read his stats and things he put in books, you got to know how to take the meat off the bone, all right? Because his government stats, I went down this wormhole, they are very misleading. All right, this Psalms 58:3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. The so-called white man is the wicked. All right, the Hebrew Edomites, they the wicked. They go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies, all right? And they've lied about everything, history, language, all right? They just changed the philosophy, psychology, all right? You know, they changed the dynamics between man and woman, husband and wife, all right? He's a piece of shit, okay? So I'm going to start off with the curses, all right? We are cursed people. And I'm going to go through these stats to show, man, nothing's is going to happen with our nation, all right? Nothing's good is going to happen with our nation if we're not going through the door, the portal, Yahushua, all right? Anything you try to do to build up our nation is going to get tore down. Any progress you think you're making is going to get tore down because the Lord is going to tear it down. And nothing's getting built up anyway, all right? You seen what they did in Tulsa, all right? And there was a few other places our people tried to do their own thing, and it always get what? Tore fucking down, okay? The Lord's not with that shit, All right. He want us to get the fuck up out of here. So I'm gonna start off with where I'm gonna start off at. I'm gonna start off with the African family unit. All right. And this is the curses. All right. Until we come back to the Lord, this is gonna cleave to our people. Ain't shit gonna get better with our people. This is the African American family structure. The family structure of African America has long been a matter of national public policy interest. A 1965 report by Daniel Patrick Moynihan, I think he was a state senator for some state, known as the Moynihan Report, examined the link between black poverty and the family structure. And black poverty is and when we say black, for edification's sake, the so-called black people, the so-called Negroes, are the tribe of Judah. All right, we're from the same tribe our great king from. All right, we're not black. Black is a color. We're a nation of people. We're a nation. We're Hebrew Israelites from the tribe of Judah. All right, but the so-called white man tagged us with that black. All right, fucking black. We different shades of brown. But our people are incapable when you're being bewitched and manipulated. They're capable of thinking analytically or critically. Just you're destroyed and conquer people. It hypothesized that the destruction of the black nuclear family structure would hinder further progress toward economic and political equality. All right, and the black family crowd, when we were at our worst, as it pertains to going up the economic ladder, our black family unit was together, all right? When you go from the 60s on up, the 40s to 30s, I'm about to prove it, the 20s and so on and so forth, when we didn't have many rich black people, all right, and we were poor doing the numbers game like they were back then, the family nucleus was together. But the more our people got so-called educated and integrated with the so-called white man, that's when it got destroyed. And that's a fact. And it has never gotten back right. It's still descending into oblivion. All right? When you look at this devil's stats, they just not adding up, okay? When Moynihan wrote in 1965 on the coming destruction of the black family, and I think this guy was a state senator, I'm almost positive he was, that out of wedlock birth rate was 25% among black people. You see, in 1965 and the 60s, all right, the family unit was together, all right, 25%. That means most people were married. But in 1991, all right, and we descended it all the way into oblivion in the 80s. In 1981, 68%, you might as well say 70, of black children were born outside of marriage, okay? Because we descended more and more into oblivion. And the more time go on, the worse it's going to get. All right. In fact, you see how worse it's going to get. Men marrying men, women marrying women. All right. It gets worse and worse. It's not going to get better till our great king come back. Okay. No matter what you read some white men say. So from 1991, 7 out of 10 black children were born outside of marriage. And I'm going to tell you, these children did not know their fathers. They was raised by Big Mama and Momo. That's the black curse, okay? Where marriage is defined with the government issued license. In 2011, all right, that was just a few years back, a decade ago, and some change, 72% of black babies were born unmarried mothers, and that number is rising, all right? And these unwed mothers, the vast majority of them are not with the fathers, and the fathers don't be in their lives. Now, do you have a percentage of those fathers that be in their children's life? Yes. But for the most part, no. Nobody's, nah. When you talk to these youth, if you go do a case study and go to inner city youth throughout America, most of those children do not grow up with their fathers. Now, do they know their fathers? Yeah. But are they fathers the one raising them, taking care of them, and they're touching them and being together? Nah, man, that shit ain't happening. It hasn't happened the last 40 and 50 years. While the 2018 National Vital Statistic Report provides a figure of 69, basically 7% of this condition, and this is exclusively for the so-called black family. Among all native newlyweds, 18% of black Americans in 2015 married non-black spouses. And I understand, I don't blame a nigga. These black bitches out of order. All right? I fully understand a man that wants to go get him a Puerto Rican or Cuban. All right? Even a white woman. All right? Our women are cursed and they do not respect us. All right? They totally out of order. The vast majority of them. If the shoe don't fit, If the glove don't fit, let it acquit. All right. If it doesn't pertain to you, let it fly. But most of these black bitches, they are totally out of order. All right. And that's why the family unit is fucked up, because they've been bewitched by Western philosophy. Okay. When you look at the people that say, I don't need a man, I could do all bad by myself, you do not see white women saying that. You do not see Chinese people saying that. That's exclusively black women that say that. So what man want to be with a woman that thinks on that frequency? All right. That's why it's broken up. 24% of all that's why black men go get other wives from other races. 24% of black male newlyweds in 2015 married outside of their race, compared with 12% of black female newlyweds, 12% of black female newlyweds, 5.5% of black males married white women in 1990. Okay. So, that was good. It had a lot of good statistics on that one. All right. And from what happened in the 80s all the way to now, it has not gotten better. All right. We're going to prove it. All right. 7 out of 10 of these little youngsters is raised by women, not by their fathers. Okay. All right. It was another part on here I wanted to get, but I'm going to just go to the next excerpt because I'm pushed for time. Okay. All right. On this one, this is going to kind of bag up what I just read. All right. This is the City Journal from cityjournal.org. All right. And this was in 2005. All right. This is a good magazine. People know about it. All right. And this is what it says. Read through the magazine words on class, income, mobility, poverty in the recent New York Times series, Class Matters. And you got to find it. All right. The New York Times is world renowned. All right. And you will still want grabs two of the most basic truths on the subject. Okay. And this guy here that wrote this article was mad what the New York Times printed about how degenerate the black family is, but it's the truth. All right. The so-called white men like to put it in your face. All right. In entrenched multi-generation poverty is largely black. It's the truth. All right, it's a curse. And but I'm gonna funnel through the scriptures and show you that it's never gonna get better here in America. It's only gonna get worse. It's never gonna get better. Anybody that's trying to uplift the community and talk positive, you're wasting your time. The Lord is here to raise up men to dance to his beat and live according to his word. And if you ain't doing that, you wasting your time on anything else you're doing. If you're not living according to this word, anything you're doing to uplift our people is going to be a waste of time. The Black Panthers tried it. The Nation of Islam tried it. Everybody, you got community actors everywhere. But look what's going on in reality. The community is getting worse and worse. The niggas are more violent. More drugs are getting sold. More people ODing. That shit ain't doing nothing. Okay? And the Lord is going to destroy most of our people. So that's why we be like, fuck the community and only deal with who conforms to the Lord's word. We're not looking for the masses of our people, because the Lord, according to Zechariah, the 13th chapter, says he's going to kill the vast majority of our people. All right. And two, it is intricately intertwined. So, Salaki, if I mangled and butchered that word, with the collapse of the nuclear family in the inner city. All right, and that's where the bulk of our people live, in the inner city. The inner city youth are doomed. They're destroyed. They are destroyed beyond repair. The vast majority of them. If you get 10 little niggas raised in the inner city by a single mother, they are doomed. There's nothing you can do for them. They are monsters. It's written in another place, in the book of Second Ezra. It say, ministers women will bring forth monsters. We're living in that time. All right, these little shits are monsters. They gay, they lesbian, they identify as monkeys. They are violent. All right, they don't believe in God. All right, this is Generation Z, man. All right, these Generation Zers are no different than brute beasts. There's nothing you can do. You can't intellectualize with them. You can't give them uh, uh, wise counsel. They're not hearing that shit. All right, they're doomed for destruction. All right, by now these facts should be hard to grasp. Almost 70% of black children are born to single mothers. No shit, Sherlock. I thought everyone knew that. These mothers are far more likely than married mothers to be poor. No shit, Sherlock. I thought everybody knew that. Even after a post-welfare reform, and this is a black man that wrote this article too, even after a post-welfare reform decline in child poverty. Now, that shit I don't believe. Like, when you look at these stats now, they saying like most of our people live above the poverty line. I remember when I first came into truth, it was bad, when you read those graphs. But the graphs, they look so different now. But I went down a wormhole and I see why. I'm about to prove it. They are also more likely to pass that poverty on to their children. And that's what happens. When you go to the hood, the mother be a teenage mother, her daughter be a teenage mother, her son go to jail. I mean, you go from hood to hood, state to state, wherever you go. That's the status quo amongst our people. I mean, you can't get around it, no matter where the fuck you go. No, you don't be just in one state. No, you go to fucking Las Vegas. That's how them niggas rocking. You go to New York, Queensbridge, Brooklyn. That's how them niggas rocking. You go to Miami, Dade County. That's how them niggas living. You go to Compton, South Central. It's the same thing. It's the same song wherever you go. That's how they rocking out. Okay. All right. And it reads, they also are more likely to pass that poverty on to their children. Sophisticates often try to dodge the implications of the bleak reality by shrugging that single motherhood is an incapable fact of modern life. And amongst our people it's a curse. I'm a funnelist through the scriptures. All right. The Lord said in Deuteronomy 28, all right, that the man would abandon his children. That's part of the curses. All right. And the woman, she's going to be hard on her children. That's part of the curses, and it's not going to get better. It's never going to get better here in America. All right, it's going to get better when we're in the kingdom of heaven. Now, here in America, the people that conform to his word, it'll get better for them. But even when you have men that conform to the word and the Lord still don't love their children because people don't understand the ways of the Lord, affecting everyone from the Bobo Murphy Browns to the ghetto baby mamas. Not so. It's largely low income and disproportionate black phenomenon. You see, it's an epidemic, a phenomenon amongst our people. All right, it's millions and millions of inner city youth that have the same song, going through the same thing. All right, nothing's getting better. It's only getting worse. Just turn on the news. Go to the nearest hood near you. The vast majority of our people are not in the middle class, and that's what I'm about to get into, okay? We're about to get into this poverty line shit, all right? So, I'm going to start over here, all right? This is when we really started descending into oblivion. Black economic disparity deepened during the 1980s, all right? This is by Lynn Duke. This came out in 1991, the Washington Post, a world-renowned newspaper, all right? Fire your source. While Black Americans continue to be united by race and historic experience, a report released yesterday paints a portrait of growing economic disparity and suggests that Blacks have become increasingly polarized by class difference. No shit. All right? In this final hour, the poor is getting poorer and the rich is getting richer. And anybody that think otherwise, you're detached from reality, okay? Black ghetto poverty deepened during the 1980s with a 49% increase in the number of blacks living in poverty in cities because during that time you had the crack epidemic, all right? Shit got worse. And it hasn't gotten better yet in no hood near you, all right? And the vast majority of our people live in the hood, all right? But there were twice as many black families earning $50,000 or more annually in 1989 as compared with the figures from 10 years earlier, according to the report. Now, that was mind-boggling to me. And while overall black annual income is only 50% of white income, That's staggering. The average income for college-educated black married couples is 90% of what comparable white couples earn. And look, and they are far and few between. All right, when you look at two black couples that graduated, that are together and graduated from college. All right, that's a minority here in America. Okay, to get a man that's a college graduate, his wife is a college graduate, and they're still together. That's a minority. That's not the majority. Okay. Now, you find cases where you could name 20 or 30 people? Yes, but the graph is gonna be for what I think they say it's 14 million black people here in America. All right, and we're 13.6% of the nation. All right, so your 20-some people you might know that are both educated is a small potatoes compared to 14 million. Of those 14 million, how many of them are two-parent homes with college-educated parents? Very far and few in between. It's not even going to be 10%, okay? These trends suggest the increasingly segmentation of the African American community, and that will continue, said Kelvin M. Pollard, one of the demographers who wrote the report entitled African Americans in the 1990s. It was published by the Private Population Reference Bureau. These affluent blacks are quite similar in socioeconomic terms to their white counterparts. The report says they are well-educated, married, home-owning, suburbanites in the prime earning ages of 35 to 55. And see, that's where you got to know shit misleading. That's not the majority. That's why I say these are devils. That's not the majority of our people. Okay? That's not the majority. And they're not going to give you the percentage of those people that fall in that category amongst black people. And when people read this, they get bewitched. Oh, see, we're getting more educated. Shut the fuck up. That's not the majority. But the financial security for middle class and affluent blacks still is far more tenuous and shadow than for their white counterparts. 1 in 7 black families had incomes above $50,000 in 1989. Okay, 1 in 7. All right, 1 in 7. That's horrific compared to 1 in 3 white families. You see, the network of black households in 1988 was 1/10 of the network of white households, and that shit hasn't gotten no better, man. That's why I'm telling you these fucking stats that I was looking at. I'm like, they are misleading. They're lying. And the group of blacks considered most well-off had less than half of the wealth of most of the well-off whites. But these groups are minorities, man. Like, I grew in a household with 2 college professors, and I grew in a neighborhood where a lot of the people were college graduates, and they were together and they stayed together. But when you look in the city, the whole city, they wasn't a majority. The majority of this city is single black, uneducated mothers. You see, I could name, and while I grew up, 100 fucking families that had 2 college graduate parents that were so-called well-to-do. But compared to 1 million motherfuckers, that ain't shit. You know, that ain't shit. And they never gonna put those ratios and percentages out there because they want to mislead simpletons. Okay, all right. And the group of blacks considered most well-off had less than half the wealth of most of the whites, and you know that's to be expected. In addition, the median value of homes owned by blacks in 1987 was $48,800 compared to $69,000 for whites. Now, what I'm saying, in the 1980s down to 2024, when you look at the hoods throughout America, it has not been an uplifting on the socioeconomic ladder. All right, the hood has still been the hood. The poor has gotten poorer, but they spend more money on bullshit, and the rich has gotten richer. All right. All right. So let's go in these what it takes to be above the poverty line and below the poverty line. Let me show you the trick, what this devil does, all right? Check this shit out. This is what this damn devil does. Very misleading. All right, here we go. This is from usfacts.org. Okay, what does living under the poverty line look like? Now, this is where it gets tricky. All right, in 1963, a statistician for the Social Security Administration named Molly Arshanky developed what we commonly refer to the poverty line, a federal marker that indicates who is poor in America. Before then, the government lacked a method to measure how families struggled to afford basic necessities. Arshanky drew from her experience of former Department of Agriculture economist, Salakia. She based her calculations on one of the most critical expenses for a family. It's a food bill, all right? By tallying the cost to feed a family of four based on no frills plan developed by the USDA. She calculated the corresponding income needed to cover these meals plus living expenses. Arshanky applied this model to create 124 poverty thresholds, accounting for age, gender, family size, and other designations. Okay? I could skip this shit. I'm going to get straight to the point. All right? I'm going to get straight to the point. According to the most reported issue in January 2023, the property threshold for a family of four is $30,000. If you're going to say $20,960, you might as well say 30. For an individual, the poverty threshold is $14,891. Okay, so peep game. A family of four that makes $30,000 a year, that's considered below the poverty line. Okay? And if you one person and you only make 14 grand a year, let's say 15 grand a year, you're considered below the poverty line. Okay? The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services issued poverty guidelines based on the Census Bureau of poverty thresholds. They are used to determine the financial eligibility for certain government programs, including Head Start, supplemental nutrition programs, known as SNAP, sometimes referred to as food stamps, the National School Lunch Program, and the Low Income Home Energy Program. All right? Now, the people that are in these programs that blow people, that the demographic is single black females. They're number one. All right. Now, when you do just deal with the numbers, you're gonna have more white women and men on there. But when you do according to per capita, black women blow everybody out of the water. And per capita works if you got 100 white women, 10 of them are below the poverty line. All right. But if you have 20 black women, even though the number is smaller, 16 of them are below the poverty line. So the volume in that percentage is always, even though they have a bigger number, because here in America, all right, when you go to the government stats, they say the black people in America are only 13.6% of the population. Okay. Amongst that 13.6% of the population, all right, the stats show that 8 out of 10 women file as head of household, okay? Out of those 8 out of 10 women that file head of household, they're trying to say now that only 14% of them living below the poverty line, all right? So you're going to tell me most of these single mothers, all right, are making more, and most of our people live in the hood, okay? So you're going to tell us that most of these women in the hood with 3-4 kids making $30,000 a year, man, that's some bullshit. That's what teachers get paid. Teachers get what, that 40,000 threshold. You know, you might got a few niggas in the plant getting paid $16 an hour. They might make 30 grand a year, something like that. All right. For you to make 30 grand a year, no, like 25 grand a year, I think you got to be getting paid $12 an hour, you know. So most of these bitches in the hood is getting paid $12 an hour for 40 hours a week. That's not happening, man. All right. Once you get paid that much, they don't even give you that much government assistance. Okay. This shit is capped. All right. Let's prove it. Let's go down this graph. I got a graph on here I want to get. All right. This not the one. I'm going to get the other one. All right. So if you're going to say that the most of our people are not below the poverty line, let's see what it takes for you to be in the middle class, okay? And that's why it gets tricky. And you know most of our people are not going to fit this criteria, all right, for you to be in the middle class. That's where it gets tricky. That's why I call Cap with this so-called white man. He's the devil the Bible speak of, all right? Now let's see what is middle class income, the latest numbers, all right? Now check this out. This was from last year. We all hear, and this is from Investpedia.com, all right? We all hear all the time the middle class is shrinking. Wages seem to have been stagnant for decades, and American families are struggling with financial security. And this is happening even with crackers, okay? Even with white people. They're descending into oblivion, all right? However, what exactly is middle class? Who is in it and who is not? Is it shrinking? What about you? Which income class do you belong to? Now we understood what the poverty is. If you taking care of yourself, 15 grand. If you got up to 3 kids, you got to be making 30 grand, and you're considered living below the poverty line. Okay, so watch what you see. What it takes to be middle class, and you'll be like, oh no, something wrong. These stats are wrong. It turns out that these questions are difficult to answer. So what are we going to do with some data? Let's get this data, okay? The middle class constitutes 15% of the U.S. population, all right? Black people are 13% of the population, according to the so-called white man, which is quite a bit smaller than it's been half a century. Historically, the middle class has been the engine of American economic growth and prosperity, okay? The middle class is shrinking due to increased population at the extreme bottom and top of the economic spectrum. All right. The median income in the U.S. was $65,000 in 2020. All right. So you're going to tell us that a woman, most single mothers are making 65 grand to be in the motherfucking middle class. That's some bullshit, man. When you get a master's degree in whatever place, area expertise you go in, you go get the master's degree, and that's supposed to bump you up from 40, from your bachelor's to 60 with your master's, and no matter what area you graduated in college, okay? So you about to tell me these single mothers that are not living below the poverty line, all right, are making 65 grand a year? That's some fucking cap. That's some bullshit. That's bullshit. That gap between the poverty line and the middle class, that's 30-some fucking grand. All right. And then we talking about this 65,000 is for one person. This doesn't work. This is not for a woman with 3 kids. All right. That's going to escalate. Okay. What is the middle class? Half of us, the U.S. population, 50 in the middle, half of the U.S. population, 50% is in the middle class, according to the latest 2020 report from the Pew Research Center. This reflects a longer-term trend of a shrinking middle class over the past 5 decades. Okay? Pew's report showed that for the first time since at least the 1960s, the majority of Americans were not in the middle class. In 2021, just 50% of American adults live in middle income households, down from 54% in 2001, and 59% in 1981, and 61% in 1971. Man, America's crashing into oblivion. The stock market is going to crash. The dollar is going to plummet. It's going to crash, and they're going to roll out another currency. It's going to be that digital device, all right? This devil is doing this. Them corporate bankers is doing this by design. The middle class has been both decreasing in the population share, seeing is cut through income pie shrink. All right. Now where's it got it have a here we go. This is what I wanted. All right. This is what I wanted. The latest census numbers indicate what income ranges consent the middle class as of 2020. This would depend on family size. For a single individual, a middle in class ranges from 30,000. Now, 30,000, you was below the poverty line if you just had 3 kids and you had 30,000. These bitches be having 3, 4 kids. That's the poverty line. Now, if you're living by yourself, to be middle class, you got to be making 30 to 90 grand a year. All right. But it said on the other graph, for the poverty line, you making 14 grand a year for yourself. You gonna tell me most single mothers is making 30 to 90 grand a year? Get the fuck out of here. You telling me most of them bitches in the hood is making that? Get the fuck out of here. All right? Most of these women, 8 out of 10 black women file head of household. That's cap. For a couple, it starts at 42,000 up to 127,000. Okay? Now you got to know the black nucleus is broke. You don't have that many couples amongst our people. All right? That's a lie. All right? 7 to 8 out of 10 of that 14 million people that they say are black in America, the vast majority of them people are not married. That's cap. That's a lie. You can't say, and you know you do have couples where a woman could be filing head of household. All right. That can happen. You know, I'm not gonna be over righteous. But no, most of these black women are fucking single. You go to the hospital, most of them nurses are single. You go to these schools, most of them school teachers are single. Most of them are single, man. These women are not married. For a family of 3, 60,000, all right? Well, for a family of 3 below the poverty line was what? 30,000. And them women ain't making no fucking 30,000, okay? And let's just look at the graph. Income range. Single, you're supposed to be making 30 to 90,000. 2, 42 to 127. 3, 60 to 180. Man, our people curse. Our people not making that. A broken home. Now you probably got I'll say 2-parent homes are doing it amongst our people. But the single black woman, the vast majority of them in the hood is not doing that. That's cap. All right. And most black men are not in their sons' lives. Okay. That's cap. All right. Our people are cursed. They're not doing this. And it's never going to get better for you community activists, you people that think you could do something positive. All right. These curses, I'm about to funnel this through the scripture. This is never going to escalate and get better because prophecy says so. All right. No matter how positive you want to be, it's never going to get better. All right, it's not going to get better till our King deliver us, and then we all going to be elites in the kingdom of heaven. Now, he's going to have levels to it, but our whole nation is going to be well-nourished and well-to-do. But that's not going to happen here in America, all right? And let's prove it. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it should come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now let's see what these curses are. And these curses are cleaving to our people. All right, especially the head tribe, the so-called Negroes. All right. You know what? Let me start up a little bit. Then I'm gonna come down. Curse you shall be in the city, and curse you shall be in the field. Curse shall be thy basket in thy story. All right, that's talking about your finances. That's talking about your health. When you look at our people, they're cursed. I had a neighborhood where I grew up named Sharon Hills. I went to Sharon Hills Elementary, and had a lot of white people lived in the neighborhood. It looked like a beautiful neighborhood. All right, now you know when you have one black person move in the neighborhood, the white people do what? Move out. Now, when I go in that neighborhood looks like a slum. And that's one way you prove how our people are cursed. A neighborhood could be full of Edomites, white people, and the neighborhood looks well. All the yards manicured. No, it ain't no trash in the streets, and the neighborhood just it look like it's well to do. And then when all those white people move out and you move niggas in, it look like a fucking war zone. All right, that shows you that our people are cursed. And there's plenty neighborhoods all throughout America that it's happened to. And then when a white man gentrifies a neighborhood and he go move all the niggas out and kick all the niggas out, and then all the white people move in, that hood start looking like a beautiful metropolis, okay? That's another way you could prove that our people are cursed. Curse shall be the fruit of our body, all right? You're not going to be healthy, all right? When you look at our people as a whole, we're number one in sugar diabetes, high blood pressure, STDs, everything, all right? It's written. It's government stats. And the fruit of thy land, all right? Our people don't own land, okay? Most of our people are not owners, the vast majority of them. Do you have people that own land and homes amongst us? Yes. But when you do the ratio amongst the numbers, no. Most of us don't. The increase of the kind and the flocks of the sheep. Curse shall you be when thou comest in, and curse shall thou be when thou goes out. These curses are cleaving to our people. All right, and here in America, these curses is only going to fall off the elect, the people that conform to the Lord's word, okay? Now, let me get to the point about the family unit. All right, here we go. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 54. So, all right, so that the man tender among you, all right, now this is one of the major curses amongst our men. A tender man take care of his children, all right? He take care of his wife. He's tender and delicate with his daughter and his wife, all right? His sons is normally his best friend, and he loves his brethren, all right? But look at this curse that the Lord put on us, and you can see who fits this. And very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. Niggas kill niggas every day. Niggas don't love each other. I hate being around niggas, all right? Because niggas ain't right. All right, this curse is cleaving to us. His eyes evil towards his brother. Dudes go behind each other, deal with each other's women. They steal from one another. They rob one another. Man, you got dudes out here when they talking about robbing, they ain't talking about robbing no cracker or no Chinese person. They talking about robbing their own people. When they talking about hitting a lick, they only talking about hitting a lick on their own people. All right? That's a curse. And toward the wife of his bosom, all right? How did a man be toward the wife of his bosom? He leave her, all right? He's not with her. And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Man, ain't no nigga, hey man, in this society, man, here in America, man, children are not growing up with their fathers. He didn't skedaddle, or he in jail, or he didn't got killed. All right, this is not a great number of our men raising children. Do you have men raising their sons? Yes, I have a son. One of my sons live with me. But for the most part, all right, across the board, do you have just 70% of children growing up with their fathers? Fuck no. Shit no. Hell no. That curse is cleaving to our people, man. So that he would not give any of them the flesh, so that he would not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat. And that's a curse that people that is not in this ministry don't think gonna happen. All right, a famine is gonna happen in America. And a famine happened to our people in ancient time past when Rome besieged Jerusalem, when the Assyrians besieged Jerusalem, and our people killed and ate their children. You know, hey, that's part of the curse, and it's going to happen again. This devil's going to lock down the cities. He's going to besiege you in whatever neighborhood you in, and you're going to see that this world understanding of love is bullshit. When you take away their comforts, when you take away food, water, and raiment, when you turn off the lights and turn off the water, these people are going to devour one another. And you're going to see that the love of them have waxed cold, and they never knew what love was. Love was just an emotion for them. Because he has nothing left for him in the sea. Just say this nigga is going to kill his children and eat them because he don't have no resources. Okay? That ain't gonna never get good for our people here in America that are out of line with the spirit. And in the straightness wherein thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates, because the so-called white man, he about to show his horns in his last days. And the tender and delicate woman among you, which should not adventure to set her sole of her feet upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and towards her daughter. And that's why these stats are so staggering. Okay? It's a curse. The Lord ain't gonna bring the family unit together here in America. It's not gonna happen, because this curse is running rampant on the children of disobedience. Most of our people don't want to stop eating lobster and shrimp. They don't want to stop celebrating these hellish holidays. They are engulfed with the white man's philosophies. So as long as our people is doing that as a whole, all right, the Lord is going to keep these curses on them, and they're going to cleave to them. So it's a waste of time to talk about positivity amongst our people. All right, yeah, you had a community activist going out talking shit. All right, them same kids, ain't long as you got hip hop on the scene, they never gonna stop smoking weed. They never gonna stop getting guns and what they call it, the shit they put on the pistols now. The I forgot what make the gun shoot rapid fire. My son be when I don't understand the lingo, my son normally tell me. All right, they got the shit they put on the gun. They got the extendo with the long clips. Long as you got hip hop and black culture, man, you wasting your time talking about doing something for the fucking community. Them kids not gonna listen to you fucking activists, or that shit y'all talking. They gonna listen to Fred O'Bain and then be a young boy. The so-called white man the devil Bible speak of. He's a psychoanalyst. He know what he doing. Yeah, he'll even let the community activists come in the neighborhood. He'll even give them resources to build a rec center to help them kids. Them kids still gonna do what the rappers tell them to do. It's a waste of time. It's a curse, man. The only thing that's gonna deliver us out of this condition is fear of the Lord. When you fear the Lord, you're gonna fear to do things that are contrary to His word, and then that's when our people get cleaned up. All right. Most of our people are in motherfucking dire poverty. Most of our people don't grow up in two-parent homes, okay? It's because we're cursed, and it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse in the coming days. And y'all going to live to see it and feel it. So with that, I don't want to rot this out. This was edifying to the hearers. I'm going to get infinite honors to my Heavenly Father, my great King, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone. And salutation to my fellow laborers in the Mashak Yahweh Shai, pushes his beloved true across the four winds. Kwam Yasharala, Abba Abba.